I know, girl.
All right. We are going live on Friday, May 31st. All right, y'all. Hey, everybody. So we are live with Franki JoyRoute. JoyRoute, taking the Joy route. And then What It Do DG walked away, but she's here as well. Y'all can talk. I mean,
Well,
we're
hello, Fia. Happy Friday, Fia, and what it do, DG? Happy Friday.
What's up? What's happening?
What's
thank
going
goodness
on,
it's
baby?
Friday. Thank goodness it's Friday. Did I?
Yes, TGIF.
I thought I posted something in the chat. I was going to post the question. So the question of the day is, who you sleeping with? Solo female traveler. Who you sleeping with?
I sleep
Oh,
around. I
So,
sleep around.
exactly. I sleep around too on Boone's ground, the campground.
I'll sleep around. I'm married and I sleep around.
I sleep around.
No, really, y'all. No,
Oh no, really?
I
Look,
love my husband. I'm a one-man woman. I'm a one-man woman. But yes, we all sleep around when we are solo nomading across the country, right? Taking solo trips and whatnot. So when we say sleep around, we mean boondocking.
that's
Finding
exactly
places
what we
to
mean.
sleep. But um yeah, so just so you know, we're gonna play a video by Gloria, Glorious Life. Oh, I call her Gloria. Is her name Gloria?
Actually,
Her name is
it's
actually
not Gloria.
Carol. Her name is
Yeah,
Carol.
Carol.
Carol. You say
Yeah.
Carol? Did you say Carol?
Yes, because
Yes, Carol.
yes, DG, do
She's
you meet
actually
her?
super super sweet. I spent some time with her when I was in California a couple of years ago. On my trip down there, I got to spend couple days with her, and like she
You are
is
her channel.
a YouTube genius.
That's right.
I mean, she had me do homework. Like I never thought like anyone would do so much background homework, but she had me do homework and
Yeah.
really made me think about things.
Cool.
You know
Cool.
her background, isn't she like a either parole, she was a former either parole officer or police officer. So that's maybe why she had you. She probably really checks out where she's going. That's probably why she had you do the homework. You think?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So did the homework pay off?
It did. It did. I mean, once I left her, I had so many ideas of videos to do and how to do them and kind of how to do my marketing and all of that stuff. Like, she went, like, everything, here's everything you need to do. Come up with these ideas. And she sat with me, like, we sat, I think it was at a Panera Bread or something. And we
Yeah.
sat for a couple of hours and did this.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna be listening to
Is that,
Carol.
I guess my internet buffering?
Um, are we breaking up for you, Frankie?
Because you all are buffering on my end. I don't know if it's me or
I'm not sure. Can you hear
okay,
me,
but I can hear
DG?
you now.
Can you hear me, DG?
I can hear you great.
Oh, if
Okay.
y'all hear if y'all hear good, mine yeah.
Okay. You're coming in and out, Frankie. Um, maybe it's a location thing. I know you just walked out of the library, or maybe it's trying to catch up. Oh, okay. So Frankie's gonna come back.
See, and
Um,
usually it's me
yeah. What'd you
coming in
say?
and out. Like I say, usually it's me coming in and out like crazy. But today I put my phone on a tripod so I
Yeah.
wouldn't touch it as much. And now I'm gonna go to YouTube just so that I can see the comments and stuff at the same time.
Yeah. I have to do that too. Um, yep. Trying to make sure we have plenty of Wi-Fi. Let me add Frankie back to the stage. Welcome back, Frankie. Welcome back to
Yeah,
the party. She's
thank
back.
you. Thank you. When I first got on with Fee, I was in the library tutoring. Now I'm in my van, so I apologize if it's buffering. I'm gonna go to a different location, but I'll listen to the video, and so we I miss y'all conversation, but
We didn't say much. We were just talking about the Wi-Fi.
Are we on
okay,
Frankie's channel or are we on
We're on mine. That
okay.
Boondocking Diva. But last week we were on JoyRoute. So y'all make sure you check out JoyRoute's channel. She did a live last week, and we need to get a live on DG's channel. We have to talk through the logistics for that. But yeah, maybe DG could. Okay, so I'm buffering. Am I buffering? I
No,
think
no, 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 no. That was me pulling it up so that I can see the comments over here rather than messing with the phone. So I don't go in and out like I usually do.
okay. But
So that
yeah,
I can see comments as they come up.
cool. Perfect. I'm just gonna copy this real quick. Um, and then we'll get to the video. Frankie went out again. We'll wait to see if she is able to go ahead and get her Wi-Fi back. But yeah, Frankie. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with um, Miss Carol's video. She has a very interesting video about boondocking and just safety tips for women on where to sleep, where to boondock, all that good stuff. All right, so we're just going to listen and react and wait for Frankie to come back.
Welcome to another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels Out and About. This is going to be a little bit different type of out and about. You know, I have been getting so many comments from people about boondocking, where to boondock, is it safe to boondock? And many of those comments have been coming from senior women like myself. So I thought, why not do a video sharing some of the places that I boondock and what I like about them or don't, and just, to give you a little information.
Yeah.
So come on, let's step inside, and I'm going to share what I do when I'm out on the road traveling. Well,
So I wanted to just, before she gets too deep into it, she mentioned senior women, and it kind of sparked a question for me. Not all of us are seniors, but um, is it different for a senior person trying to find somewhere to sleep versus a, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, whatever, right? What do you think? Does age matter?
I
When it
don't think that the age matter. I think that being a woman is what matters the most because we have to think about our safety a little more because I mean no matter what you do unless you just, a sharpshooter, I mean there's you've got to go find your weapon first, but you have to be able to trust your instincts. I
Right.
think in the video pretty quickly, she mentions that, there's some places that she didn't feel was, as safe as she might have thought that it was. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that women need to be able to trust their instincts as far as where they're going, especially when they're parking overnight. You
Yeah.
know, you have to give yourself a little time. I think the best thing is also make sure you park before it's absolutely dark, at least, around dawn or so that you can kind of fill it out. But I
Yeah.
think this is an important question for women in general,
Mm-hmm.
simply because, we have to make sure that we're safe and it's going to take us a little more time. You've got to fill out where you are.
Right. Good point. So it's really about the fact that we're solo women. Really, age shouldn't matter, but I was thinking more some like the older you get, the pickier you get, and I don't even know
Mhm.
what's a senior considered. What do we consider seniors?
I think I want to say I'd probably go. I would say like 65 plus, because 55-year-olds, I know they're pretty young. And I mean, my next door neighbor, she's like 73. And quite frankly,
Okay.
she
Yeah.
would be just fine too. But,
Nothing but a number. But yeah, no, you're right. You're right. The what is it? The 40 is the new, or 60 is it? No. What's the saying? 40 is the new 30, something like that.
girl, I don't know.
But
I
I just
don't
brought that up
listen,
because,
I don't feel 30, so I'm thinking not.
and I don't feel my age either. I'm 50-ish, so I don't feel my age either. Um, but I will say, um, that older, as I get wiser, I
Mhm.
am pickier. I'm definitely bougie, but I'm pickier. But I was thinking, not all older women, say 60, 70, whatever, are going to be willing to stay in a truck stop, for example, where it's more
Right,
noise, right? Whereas,
right.
love truck stops. Like, I love the action. I love the yeah. So I was just wondering when she said senior.
Yeah, and see, I've done a truck stop before. It just so also happened to be by a train, but I had gotten there after dark, foolishly,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't realize that. And it turned out to be fine because I was able to, the parking lot was big enough where I was able to kind of be away from the noise, because I personally like a more quiet space, as
Yeah,
I can sleep with a lot of noise.
yeah. So,
So, I mean, like maybe a little music or whatever, but I like a really quiet space. So, um, everybody has their preferences. And I think, like you said, the older you get, you start to get preferential about where you're staying.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big difference too.
Good point. Yeah. So thank you for your thoughts on that.
I
That's
was
good.
saying, I get a lot of questions about boondocking, and many of the women who are writing in are making comments like, I really want to do this, but I'm afraid to do it alone, or I am just scared to get out there, but I really would love to. So I was thinking that one of the main things, as I said earlier, that is a cause for concern is where to park at night. And there
Mm-hmm.
is a big difference between boondocking when you're sitting somewhere for a week, 2 weeks, or even longer on BLM land, because usually you're going to have a lot of other people around. You're going to meet the people that are around you. You're going to be talking to them and get comfortable around them. But when you're traveling from point to point, and when I'm traveling from state to state or city to city, even, it's quite a different experience. I travel primarily alone as a solo female senior woman, or with my special needs teen as a companion.
That makes a big
So
difference.
while I'm not fearful, I do want to be prudent and not take unnecessary chances.
Right.
So I'm going to give you some of the places that are my go-to places to stay. I will give you a few other places that you may or may not be comfortable staying at. And then I'm going to give you some websites where I go to look up spots, and also kind of a little bit of information about how I plan my trips in advance.
Okay. What do you think,
I
EG?
think I think that she's already starting off very strong. And she's right. You need to be very prudent, very vigilant about where you stay, and you kind of want to have a plan. I would say, if you know where you're going, if you know the area,
Right.
um, go where you know is safe. When I was home in Houston, I would go to the side of town where I knew was safe, and I would just kind of travel around different places. I think I mentioned in one of our other lives, I used to stay at hotels. I was just thinking about it. I've also gotten into an apartment complex, a gated apartment complex that I stayed in one night, and it was fine. You just have to kind of plan it out. Like, where do I want to be? Especially when you know where you are, but when you don't know where you are, I feel like, there's certain places that are pretty safe,
Yeah.
but no matter what, you gotta give yourself time to check it out first.
Yeah, safety first, absolutely. Because also, even with a situation where you're solo traveling, but say a group of people say, "Hey, why don't you come with us? We're sleeping over at." I think I did that this year with Bass Pro Shop, and
Mm-hmm.
a whole bunch of van lifers at the Tampa RV show, and they were like, "Hey, come over and sleep with us." And I was like, "Okay." I'm sleeping in my own van. I like at Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah.
I'm listening to my intuition. I know at least one person, one or two people. So, yeah, you're right. Trust your
Yeah.
intuition and just, yeah,
And you
feel.
do have safety in groups. I feel like you do have safety in groups as long as, you feel like those people are safe. I know when I went to Schoolapalooza and what do they call that? The RTR.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was completely solo. I went out there not knowing a soul.
Oh, really?
So, yes.
How was
I
it?
It was actually really good. So the RTR, there's a lot of information that's given. I would say if you're ever gonna go with a very, very open mind.
Yep.
Go, you know, you're gonna meet people there.
Hmm.
Um, I have a video um addressing the point that there's not a lot of Black women out there.
Hmm. Okay.
There wasn't a lot
I've
of,
heard that too.
there wasn't a lot of people of color out there, period.
Yeah.
And that kind of got me. I
Yeah.
was like, why is this space, it's open to us, because I never felt unwelcome. I will say that. I never felt unwelcome. But
Yeah.
it was just like, I know we know about it. Why are we so afraid to go out there and do it? But
Yeah.
getting back to the point, not knowing a soul out there, deciding where to sleep, knowing, where we were supposed to be going or whatever,
Hmm.
that was kind of difficult, um, because you don't know who you're safe around, you
Right.
know?
These days,
So,
especially.
and I think the
But
great thing is I got there kind of during an event, and I was, in the general parking lot. So I had met people and they were like, oh, we're sleeping over here, we're sleeping over there. And it was like, okay, I kind of feel comfortable with them. So, because I mean, there has been times when I'm like,
right.
nah, I'll just find my own place, and I'll
Yeah.
meet up with you sometime later. And if I feel comfortable the next day, then I might go, you
That
know.
is so true because and one quick hint of figuring out like what kind of group you're dealing with is what place they picked to sleep at.
Hmm.
So that
Yeah.
tells you a lot about the crowd you're with, right?
Yeah, I agree. I
So
agree.
like, you ain't even gotta say nothing. Be like, "Where y'all going? Oh, over there. Okay, no, I think I'm gonna head the other way.
Yeah, I'm gonna head to the other side.
Yeah, I'll meet up with y'all tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
because I'm
Yeah.
not sleeping alone."
I don't mind sleeping alone either. I guess I feel like even if I'm alone, then I become more aware of where I am and I won't sleep as hard, but I don't want to feel like I'm sleeping in a group of people and I, give that, false security and then something happens.
Right, right.
So I
You know,
would rather sleep alone and be more alert.
yeah, I love that. I love what you just said. That false sense of security. The same
Mm-hmm.
thing you would do by yourself.
Yeah.
Should have that same level of security no matter where you go.
Right.
So it shouldn't
Right.
change because you're around a new group of people
It
or
should it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. I agree with you, but I think that you feel like someone who's done it before you,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it'll kind of give you a false sense. And that's something, I had to learn to not do.
Yep. I like that. I like that. Because sometimes you just like it's nice to join a group. It's like, oh, you want somebody to hang out with, even if you
Right.
tended to go by yourself. I'm gonna speed this up just a little bit and see how it goes when I play.
All right. I know
I
Frankie said she was gonna find another place.
What'd you say?
I know Frankie had sent a message saying she was gonna find somewhere else and then
Oh,
chime in a little bit.
okay. Okay. I think that might be too fast for her because I sped it up and yeah, it doesn't sound right. Thank you for the update on Frankie. Text message. Cool. All right.
Get everything. The first place, and I mean my most favorite, absolute favorite place to stay is truck stops.
All right. All right. Truck
Without
stops.
question.
Yes.
Flying J, Pilot, and some others. And I'll tell you the reason that I really like staying at truck stops. Number one, there are always people around.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for some people, that may not be a good thing. But for me, I feel more comfortable because I figure if there is a problem, there are people around that if I call out or something, there'll be someone to respond. But I've never had that happen. And I can honestly say, I've never parked overnight somewhere that I felt uncomfortable at. The reason I think the reason that is because if I drive into some place and I'm uncomfortable, even the slightest bit uncomfortable, or I just have that feeling in my gut, I turn around and I leave. I don't try and make it work or just convince myself or talk myself into staying. I leave. Just that simple. But the truck stops, how I do it when I go to truck stops, typically, if I see a lot of other RVs or campers, and I recognize them as people who are traveling, then I have no problem pulling in and parking. If I don't see that, then I typically will go inside. I might buy a soda, a cup of coffee, pack of gum or something, and I will just explain to the person at the counter, I'm traveling with my daughter, and I'm just really tired. Is it all right if I pull in and sleep for a little while or some few hours, maybe until morning? I've never, ever had anyone tell me no. So that's my experience. Also, what I do is I don't.
Okay, so she said a mouthful. I want to focus on the truck stops just a little bit because I think people have preferences. I think DG, you said that you don't necessarily like truck stops because it gets loud. And I was going to just give people a tip that, when you're I had a problem at first when I tried my first truck stop by myself, and I realized, I just need I need those little ear inserts. When I'm really ready to go out and sleep, like go out. And I'm not watching TV. I'm not, whatever. Put my little earplugs in, not headphones, but the inserts that you can sleep with, and that made all the difference because I love having the noise around, but I don't want it to interrupt my sleep. So,
gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Another tip for those of you who want to sleep, like Gloria said, sleep at truck stops, is sometimes there are truck stops next to each other, and I never, as a best practice, I try to never eat at the same place I'm going to sleep. So I try to get my food, I try to get my drink, whatever I'm going to get at another place. And then I pull into the truck stop and I'm not getting out.
Why is the purpose of that? Because you're not getting out? That's the reason why?
Yeah, well, I'm not getting out because I don't want them to know who's in the van. I don't want them to know how many people are in the van because I lock my van. There's a sound alarm when I go in the store. So I don't want them casing me. I want them to think, there's probably like 2 to 3 people in there because nobody got out. So they don't know what to think.
Right.
For me, can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
We can hear you great.
Good. The noise at the truck stops don't bother me. Noise doesn't bother me. I can sleep like a baby, but I also can wake up if something is going down. But I kind of like what Carol said. I just trust my gut. When I was in Vegas, I was at a truck stop and I stayed there a couple of nights, and it kind of felt like people were like staying at that truck stop, and I didn't feel good about it. But Vegas is so funny where like some casinos, when I was coming from Ohio to out west, they would let you stay there for 7 days. But Vegas, I guess because it's Vegas, sometimes you have a hard time finding casinos.
Yeah.
So for me, I just feel the same. I really feel safe at truck stops. I look for now new ones, new looking ones. So like Pilot or Loves, and you're right, they're right across the street. For me, I get in the van. I don't I put the alarm on as well. I know you're saying that click click noise or whatever, beep beep, but I don't know. I don't feel scared at truck stops. I really I feel the safest. Like I really
Yeah,
do.
me too. Me too. Love
So
it, love it, love it, love it.
and
Um,
I'm usually in the middle of like vans or cars. So and I look at
Yeah.
the van next to me and see if it looks like one of y'all's vans or so. You know how you can tell? Because like I said, I was at a truck stop in Vegas and I was like, ah. But then usually when I'm on the road, the truck stops I stop at, I make sure they look nice and clean and new and that other vans are there. They have the semis, they had an area where the semi trucks park and um I see other people if I'm like, oh, and I usually don't ask. I just don't I just kind of can tell. If you go to a truck stop and they have bright lights on and there are no back spaces to park, you kind of just know, you know?
right, right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Frankie, I was telling you weren't on here at the time, but I was saying we need to cycle in DG's channel for the next
Absolutely.
live. Let her do the next live. Do you have StreamYard?
I think that I might still have it.
Okay.
Or you
We're
can just pull it
I'm on
back
the free version. We're still on the free version.
up.
So um
Yeah,
That'd
but
be great.
before the next live, I'll make sure I get it reset up again and get it together.
That'd
okay.
be great. Yeah, definitely cycle in her channel because we have a lot between us. We have a lot to share on this topic and just topic in general. So just travel. So it's like, yeah, we travel in vehicles, but in essence, it's travel because even if you were traveling, like I know sometimes here in Ohio, the cheapest airport is not in Ohio. So you might travel and you might get tired. Not that you would. You could go like 4 hours away if you depending on how cheap. Well, anyway. So when we talk about these safety tips, these tips aren't just for, they are primarily for people traveling in a vehicle, but just some of the things we talk about and cover is relevant to like even when they pick a hotel room. You know what I mean? Like if they pick a hotel room and how do you pick your hotel room? So I think we
Right.
have I know we have a lot to share.
Yes, we
I mean,
do.
I
Yes.
feel like picking a place to sleep in your car is kind of the same as picking a hotel to sleep, you
Yes.
know? You
Yeah.
want to pick the safest place. You want to, I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
difference is just you're not paying money, but you want to
Mm-hmm.
pick the safest place. You want to pick the cleanest place. You want to pick this place where, you don't feel like,
Absolutely.
you're sleeping in garbage.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what
Absolutely.
that's why I love looking at ratings. DG mentioned last week at Frankie's JoyRoutes live. You said something about looking up what was it? The housing, the rental
Yeah,
Zillow.
looking up on Zillow for like how much houses in the area are so that you pick kind of your moderate housing
Mm-hmm.
pricing. And then
Right.
that way, you're not in the ritzy area, which would probably be more likely to call on you, but you're not in, somewhere very unsafe where, you're going to hear pop, pop over your head. You know what I'm saying?
Say not to pop pop. So DG, do you? I'm gonna ask y'all. I got a question for y'all. Do y'all? What are your places that you sleep around? Like neighborhoods? Because I don't like sleeping in neighborhoods. Like unless it's like there have been a couple of times when I'm at my cousin's and I just want to. I'm out in the van and I'm like, oh, can I sleep right here in her street? Because I know I could go in the house. But I don't like neighborhoods. Not because I don't. Even if they were wealthy, I feel like if they're wealthy, they definitely would, call the cops because they
Oh, yeah.
recognize different cars. But I feel like any,
Hmm.
like on my cousin's street, I know all the cars, or most of the, we know the houses.
Mm-hmm.
So where do y'all sleep around at? What other alternatives have y'all slept at casinos?
I
I
don't.
have slept at a casino. My very first sleep away from Houston, I was in Louisiana in Lake Charles, and I
Oh,
slept in a casino for about 3 or 4 days,
mm-hmm.
and I felt perfectly fine. And what I would actually do, because down there, if you've been down there, like they have casinos, like it was two casinos right next to each other. So
Okay.
what I would do is actually sleep in the parking lot in the back at one casino, and there were trucks that would come and stop, and they had their own spaces too. But I would actually go to the other casino to
Mm-hmm.
like go in and wash off and get some coffee and all of that, and then go for my run, and then I come go door dashing during the day, come back later that night and do the same.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm
So
nervous about sleeping in neighborhoods because I'm always like, I want to get a good night's sleep, and I don't want nobody knocking.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want.
I don't think neighborhood would be my sort of thing either.
It's
That's how you.
hotels and truck stops for me mostly. Cracker
Definitely.
Barrel, yeah,
Cracker Barrel, sometimes they're a little dark and empty. The ones
yeah,
I've been to.
I agree. Depending on the area,
That's true. That's
all right.
true. But the casino, see the point real quick. When we
Hmm.
were coming down from Ohio to out west, and I consider out west Phoenix, Las Vegas, California, whatever, and the casinos actually will welcome you. They had like spaces off to in one casino, Morongo or something. It was by Joshua Tree, and I swear they gave me a 7-day pass, and it was like so many nice vehicles. They had a whole lot that was. It was like a campground. It was like, of course they not expected you. You didn't have to, but you could go in and get your meal. I did. They had like free bands at night. I gambled a little bit. So I was like putting a few coins. I was doing a little something, and I have the best experiences at casinos. Now at Vegas, I didn't got so many knocks. Like Vegas don't ever try it. I mean, they don't let you, they don't even play. They don't even play. I mean, I slept at one or two overnight, and I tried it the second night and they were like, nah. So
I just realized I totally missed your original question, which was, have you ever slept at casinos? And I haven't. I would
mhm.
love to. I would love to.
Give it
Which
a
casino
try.
was that? Because I went to Vegas that one time. But what casino did you sleep at, Frankie? Do you remember?
That I slept at.
In
So
Vegas?
what? And yeah, I do. So in Vegas, there was. I know I slept at Circus Circus, and Circus Circus isn't. I used to take my kids to Circus Circus, and
Okay.
back then it was always a mid level. Now, as I would say, it's like bottom level, but it was always like a mid level, and I liked it because it was kid friendly. So when I lived in California, I would take my kids, me, my kids, and my husband. We would go to Circus Circus. When I
Okay.
went there the second time, I was like, but I knew Circus Circus. You know what I mean? And then because I would see people, I would see the security on bikes riding around, and because I was in a minivan, I could just lay low. And even though Circus Circus is very run down, the parking lot, they still had the security be deep. And so that's why I did it. And I slept there for like a week. Even when my son flew out to Vegas, he literally wanted to give me the room. I was like, I just want the money. I'll just take the money because I don't need a room. They stayed at Four Queens in the
Okay.
downtown, and the what's considered not downtown, it's off the strip,
Yeah.
the Fort
Yeah.
Queen. Yeah, and so I slept at Circus Circus, but then one day I was just you supposed to get up and leave, and I didn't. I was like tired, and they knocked like,
So they
you
have a
can't do this.
3.8 rating. Is that, I guess,
It's run down. I mean, it's to me, Circus Circus, the carpet, they still allow smoking. It is run down. The first night I got some food there, it was like I was sick. It still got the fun, the cool, because they still have coins, not all the machines, and it still got a circus. I did go to the free circus in there because it was so fun. I'm just like a big kid, but it is very run down. So,
but
but it's
they have,
same thing. These
did they
these
have overnight parking
They
for?
said they even had a campground somewhere, like a place. I never found their RV park or what, or I did, and I think I went to it. It was run down or whatever. But they even have some kind of RV or whatever. But the thing is, with casinos, because of their money is so deep, security is so they're always on bikes.
Mm-hmm.
They're riding around, and so you wouldn't have they wouldn't do anything. Then I slept at this. It's called the Canary Casino,
Yeah.
and the Canary, I slept there one night, and the second night the guy was like, "Nah, you gotta go." So
Yeah.
I got a lot of knocks in Las Vegas, so
You know
I
what? This is starting to sound familiar because I was with Wanda and another
yeah, one our friend, yeah.
out at Vegas, and we were trying to decide if this was, I think, the same park that I tried to park at, but I couldn't find the RV park.
You can't find it, but it's there, and it's like a
Okay.
dirty water pool, and it just look like
Yeah, it was dark, and I was like, "Ain't no way we sleeping here."
exactly. The RV park is pretty scuzzy looking, but again, just because they money in there, and just because they riding around on bikes. I'm like how y'all do, or like Carol. You scoping your surroundings. So the first
Mm-hmm.
day it was like nostalgic being back. Like, do they still have this? I mean, my mom even came out one time, so it was just like nostalgic being back and going in there, and they was smoking. I was like, oh. But
Yeah.
so I'm looking at, I'm checking it out. I ain't just like, and it did look like it's in a part of the Vegas that's just the lower you get, well, the lower you get down, like the higher you get up on the strip, it's a nice. The hotel's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
And then the lower that you get down, then that's when it start being moderate price, and then like liquor stores, all that.
Start
But
getting questionable.
yes, gets questionable. The porn, what do you call it, the Playboy stuff. You'd be like, wow. But and like I said, the security just what made me like, and I was in Vegas for a minute, and I just was doing Vegas, like jumping on a double decker bus and going places. So I was like, I need a place that I can come back to. And I was just doing circus. Like I
Yeah.
see security on bikes deep, and people going and people coming and going all night. I even seen a beautiful African wedding at Circus. Well, I don't know if they had the wedding, but they were on this big bus and they came. It was so pretty. I got pictures. They might even be on my channel somewhere because I always put stuff on there. But yeah,
Okay. Cool.
yeah. So,
What did DG, what it or DG has to? What time do you have to leave for work? I just want to be considerate.
I will leave here about 4 o'clock or so.
Okay. Cool.
what time zone are you? You on my time zone, right? I know I gotta
Yeah, I'm
pick
on
up.
EST.
You on
So
what? Yeah, we're on the same. You two feel right?
it's 2:38 here.
Yeah, it's two
Yeah,
thirty
same.
eight here. When
Okay.
she got to go to 4. I I'm going to a recital tomorrow, and so I need to get the tickets. And I came in my car, and because I don't have the air on because I'm talking to y'all, so
Yeah.
we can still kick it for a bit. But
Okay. So we'll play a little bit more, and then let's see. How long have we been going?
how
30.
long? Let's leave it. We can try to get to an hour.
Yeah, we can stop right at an hour. I'm good with that.
Okay.
Park in the
Okay.
very
Y'all can keep going if y'all want, but I just don't want to be hot at the point.
Yeah. No, Gigi's got to go to work anyway, so
where
I'm good
park
with that.
or going in and out to buy something because I don't want to take up space for customers. I will park towards the back area, but not way in the boonies where no one could see me, but kind of towards the back of the parking lot where there are still other people. And if possible, I will park over close to where all the big rigs are parked. And I have done that dozens and dozens and dozens of times and slept like a log. No problem at all. The second place that I like to go to is rest stops. Now, some rest stops are a little bit shaky. So you really have to judge when you pull in, does this look kind of, shaky or not? But the ones that I have stayed in, I've been very comfortable, and I typically stay in ones where again, there are travelers. I can see there are travelers that are tucked in for the night. There are big rigs there. And again, I will park towards the edge where the big rigs are. So that's my second one.
So yeah, rest stops are good. I would say for me, when I say good, I mean I have looked up the ratings, and it is a large. I don't mean like a side of the road kind of truck stop. I mean like it's got Burger King, it's got restrooms, it's got sit in areas, it's got like park, it's got everything. So when I say good rest stops,
I've
that's
seen
my
rest stops with like dog parks and all that. The only thing about the rest stops, I agree with both. Some rest stops look like parks because they have everything, like dog parks, and the vending machines look nice and it just looks so nice. But sometimes they list like a time limit, like they may be like 4 hours or 5 hours, which is fine with me because I'll usually get there just before dark and I'm headed out in the morning. But I agree with Carol as well. Some of them do just look scat. You're like,
Mm,
I'm
yeah.
not about to stay here. I'm not even getting out. And I've done that too. But I like rest stops because they look like parks. And I was in where was I at? I think I was in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And they rest stops were so nice. I was like, oh, this is a little
Especially
park.
the ones with especially the rest stops with Tesla charging stations. Like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
looking for certain amenities that if they ain't there, I'm like, I don't have a Tesla, but I know Tesla people come
Yeah.
here.
Is that you know there's more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
I
get it.
stayed in one in El Paso. It actually had like a hotel, and then it had a barbecue restaurant, and then like some little fast foods around it. Like there was a whole situation. And then it was actually really, really nice. And
Yeah.
like you said, it did have the Tesla things. I didn't even think about that. I think I've done that twice without even thinking about it. But yeah, if you're gonna bring your Tesla there, it's got to be a decent place.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I say. I ain't
Yeah.
even seen the Tesla. I haven't seen the Tesla, y'all. I haven't seen those areas.
Yeah, they're I know Wawa is starting. Wawa has the Tesla charging stations too.
Can you
You
park
know,
at
we
Wawa?
might need to start looking up. Is there an app to look up Tesla charging stations so you can look in
Ooh,
those spaces?
Ooh, that's a
I bet
gold.
there is, DG. That's a good point. I bet there
Yeah,
is.
yeah, I like that. Look up charging test. Just Google it or on
Let me see.
MapQuest. Tesla charging stations near me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's gonna lead you to a gas station or a rest stop or a whatever truck stop, whatever, um, to get you going.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's
Remember
late,
that?
the emergency.
Oh yeah. So if you go and you look, like they have a find us for looking for charging stations. They do actually.
Nice.
So out here,
Oh,
there's several in Myrtle Beach. I'm
oh.
sure there's some in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
okay, there's an idea right there.
That's
I
a
do the
great
same thing.
idea.
I do the same thing with Bass Pro Shop because I know Bass
Mhm.
Pro Shop is only going to be in certain areas. So I will get on MapQuest and just say Bass Pro Shop near me, and then I
Can
may
you
not
park
say
overnight at Bass Pro Shops? Do they welcome that
Yes.
way?
yeah.
So it's Bass Pro Shops, and then there's another one. There's another adventure store, and they welcome overnighters.
Hmm. Oh,
You usually
that's
see
good
them
to
on the
know.
highway. I know it when I pass by them, but I can never think of the name.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great to know. That's great to know. If you're ever in a pinch, and this is what I did in California, y'all know that restaurant. And I had never heard of these because they don't have them in the Midwest. The Del Tacos. Y'all ever heard of that restaurant?
Oh yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So, because um, I have the y'all have the app Overlander.
Yes.
And so if you get on there, people will tell you like it's a little pond. People put all kinds of places. It'd be like the Home Depot, but it's closed. But anyway, I was in a pinch. I was in San Bernardino, California, and I've been having panic all day. And long short story, I just needed to stop driving. And
Hmm.
I went on Overlander, and they said if you go to a Del Taco, they're 24 hours, and you can. So I went through the drive-through. I bought something. I asked her. I said, "Hey, I'm traveling. I'm passing through. Is it okay if I stay there?" She was like, "Sure." So if you're in a pinch, you just like you need to just like I gotta stop. I can't keep driving. I'm exhausted. I've been, and that's just an option if you. But Del Tacos are every Del Taco I've seen. Most people probably be afraid to. The ones I've seen. So that's no offense, but just the ones I've seen. You'd be like, okay. But that's just if you're in a pinch. I would call Del Taco if you're in a pinch. Then
Gotcha.
in New Mexico, I
So
stayed at a cannabis restaurant. It's 24 hours. I just stayed there, and it was some people would have been scared, and it was open 24 hours, and they had cannabis. So I was like, they got to have good security because see, when you're dealing with somebody money or somebody products, it was a 24-hour like weed shop in
yeah,
New Mexico. Hmm.
cool.
But
I
if you're
always
in a pinch.
about like staying overnight. So Del Taco is I was thinking about is that similar to like staying overnight with the Denny's that's 24 hours and IHOP that's 24 hours.
Mm.
Oh, I have a
I
24
would
hours.
imagine.
Some
Yeah.
a lot of IHOPs are.
I think most of them are. I haven't ever known any that are not.
Mm-hmm.
I never would have thought of that.
That's right. That's a
I
good
might
one.
not stop eating though.
I know, right?
Every time I'm ready to be snacked, you come in for some more pancakes.
And they are so good. Oh, they
Egg,
so good. Mm-hmm.
right
I
there.
Same.
haven't been IHOP in so long. Now it sounds really good.
Are we
Yes.
keeping a list, Fia? You should. If we.
I'm adding the list to the chat, the comments.
Okay.
But y'all can
Okay.
add whatever you like. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, let me see what else she has on the list. I think she was going into her third one.
My
Yeah, I
third
think so.
spot that I've had a lot of success parking at is casinos. Now, I
Oh
have been
yeah,
to a couple of
Frankie, you just mentioned casinos. She's talking about
Mm-hmm.
casinos.
casinos where there was absolutely no RV parking and it didn't look like it was allowed. So I didn't even try and push that. But casinos typically are one of the other places where I like to park. The fourth place, now A lot of people have this as number 1 on their list. I don't. It's down number 4, and that's Walmart. I do, and I have parked at Walmart.
Okay, so I think we talked about casinos. Do y'all want to add anything else before we move on to Walmart?
I'm good on casinos. What about you, DG?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Walmarts, and typically what I will do is drive in, and I will come in towards the evening and get everything ready that I need. If I have to go into the store, I'll go into the store and come back, and then I'm down for the evening. I don't put up all my blinds and everything, my window coverings, until it gets dark, because I don't want to look like I'm already there sleeping in the daytime. But once the sun goes down, I put up all my window coverings, and I have had no problems at any Walmarts. However, I will say this. Some of the Walmarts that I've driven by or driven onto the lots are in areas of town that I just wasn't comfortable in.
Mm-hmm.
So those Walmarts, even if there are other people staying there, I move on.
Yep.
The fifth place.
All right, before we get to number 5, Walmart. So I stopped Walmart. I used to do Walmart all the time, and I think Walmart in general has stopped the overnight. They don't do 24-hour Walmarts, right? Walmart.
No, they're no longer 24 hours since the pandemic. And a lot of them, even if they did, because I know even the one here, a friend of mine was staying down with me for a little over a week, and she would go up occasionally to the Walmart in Mount Pleasant, which is like an hour away, and she would stay there. Well, by the time I tried to do it a few months later while I was door dashing, so I didn't drive home late at night, I think within the next couple of weeks there was a sign, no overnight parking. So Walmarts are really cutting that out, but I don't know.
Well, y'all
You got to
know,
be careful which Walmart you go to anyway.
That's true.
That's just the job.
I was in a Walmart, and the first knock I got, I was on a tow truck. Like, I was in the car asleep, and I was on a tow truck. And remember that one? Remember me?
I told like she was sleeping.
Yeah, I remember that video.
Yeah, and so then I bugged Walmart so bad, and all they board everything. I said Sam Walton, his original vision, which it was for people traveling through to have a place to rest, RVer. Sam Walton, who was the owner of Walmart, was an RVer. He had an RV. He would travel in his RV. So I bugged them, but they was not gonna pay me. I was like, I bugged the hell out of them, and I did get a small. It definitely wasn't worth what I went through. But I did finally get a little, piece of change from Walmart. And so I feel like I have a lifetime membership that I can park any Walmart I want to. Although I'm with y'all. And we parked in Walmart, I think in Georgia. Remember that Walmart with the truck, with the food truck? We stayed there like 2 or 3 days. But
I will say that Walmarts during the day are totally fine. Like if you want to just hang out at Walmart or sleep during the day, take a nap. I would say it's okay, right? That's what we did.
Yeah, definitely. I will skip Walmart altogether these days, just because, like Danette said, most of them are cutting down, and then just because Walmart, they another place where you always under surveillance. Like they just got, and then in the Walmarts if you want to call them bad neighborhoods or lower income neighborhoods, they got the blue lights going. What's up with the blue light? Then the one.
It's so distracting when you're
so distracting. It is so distracting. Then the other ones, the Walmart I was at it was a nice area where the Walmart was at, and the guy just. So I would just skip unless if you're in a pinch and if you feel comfortable. I think if you're in a smaller vehicle, like I am in a mini camper van. They stock, even though they might not be 24 hours, but they have like stockers and things like that. So if I'm in a pinch, Walmart, I would say skip altogether. Or if you're in a pinch, you're in a pinch, then do it. But other than that, no. And like you said, how your friend was doing, I did like that you could go back. Like if you see a Walmart, you leave all day. If you want to stay there all day, but the opposite, if you leave, and then you just go there, sleep, get out of there. But to me, that's a pinch. Put that on a pinch list. Like if you're in a pinch.
Yeah, definitely.
Last minute. But yeah, there's so many other choices that Walmart should be like last on your list towards the bottom.
Yeah, I agree with that. And plus, I think that if you're staying there even at night, even if you go, last minute or whatever, you need to really kind of think about the traffic that's going through there at night. Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if there's a lot of traffic, because I know when I stayed, I think I left and went and found a hotel nearby. One of those nights that I stayed, because I was like, it just seems like there's too much traffic coming in and out
Yeah.
constantly, and by that time it was probably midnight, and I was like, I don't feel good about that. I
With
was
the
like,
traffic coming in and out, you were saying?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I had stopped Walmart long before they got rid of their 24 hours because I had an experience where there were semis there and I thought it was a good spot because I looked up the ratings and everything, but there
Mhm.
was a group of people working on a car all night long. And it was one of those cars where the muffler was really loud.
Ain't funny, but yeah, I understand.
And it was just like I even with earmuffs, I mean not earmuffs, the little earplugs, somehow I was still able to because I guess because I was so close to them. But then the couple started fighting, and I was just
yeah,
like, God,
yeah.
okay, never again, never again.
It's
Let's
not good.
let's see
Well,
what
hotels. Fear had me doing hotels, but I'm
girl.
kind of scared of
I love me
hotels.
hotels. Yes,
Yeah,
I
I
love
do.
to
When
stay at
we found the
hotels.
best one.
I mean, they get quiet at night because I mean, once night falls, everybody's pretty much in.
yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you really don't have a whole lot to worry about. And I will nestle in between a few cars. I
Yeah.
park backwards, so I'm ready to go at any time. But I'll
Yes.
nestle in between a few cars, put my blinders up, and go to sleep.
I've done
yes.
that too. I've done
And
it.
Hotel.
look,
You
in
got
the
me on
morning,
that.
I stayed at a hotel one night with Tina from Brace Nomad,
Mm-hmm.
and she went in and she went to to like just the visitors bathroom to wash off, and she
Mm-hmm.
picked up some breakfast. I was like, well, I'm gonna go get me some breakfast too.
Say go in there and just get some breakfast. Say,
I
well,
Yeah.
was
hey,
like, okay, this is what we're doing.
And
okay, I want to use the pool. Forget the break.
like,
I want the
oh,
pool.
I
And
can
I
Somebody
mean, they
told
never
me.
asked the question. They never asked the question at all. It was just like, hey, where's your restroom? And they
yeah.
were
And they're
like, oh,
like,
it's in that direction. But
Yeah.
we actually happened to go in through a side door that was unlocked for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so we never even went through the front, like the front door, passing by the clerks or whatever. And they just had like, little
like
bananas, yogurt, and stuff
that's
like
the
that.
best. But nut muffins and a drink. Get a little bottle of water and apple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's your breakfast. Take off and hit the road.
And be like, thank you. I like pools. I like somebody told me you could pay a fee, and I don't know if this is true or not. Because I know when I was traveling, I was so high. Like I just want to get in somebody's pool, and they were saying some hotels you could pay. I don't know. I think Doctor.
Heard that too. Yeah, you can pay a fee and
Mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm. So
your amenities
that's
without.
something I'm definitely gonna explore. That ain't really about sleeping around, but it's cooling off.
No, that's a good
Yeah.
point. You can do that with a lot of hotels that are on the beach. Like
Oh,
you want to
okay.
go to the beach, but you don't want to. You want to just sleep in your rig.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay. I think there's some hotels on the beach that will allow you to pay just for the amenities
Oh, okay.
and enjoy the beach.
Okay.
Because technically, you're not supposed to go on their side of the beach if you're not staying
Oh,
at the hotel.
okay.
But I
Okay.
think a lot of beach hotels allow that. But the other thing I was going to say about hotels, reason why I love hotels is I look for a lot of times I look for a suite of hotels that are grouped together that
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel more comfortable when I slip in because I'm like they don't know if I'm at this hotel or that
At
hotel.
that hotel, yep.
Especially if it's
They,
grouped with a restaurant too, like Outback, I can get me some
Mm-hmm.
dinner
We were
and
there one year on your birthday. What we
yeah,
was at the hotel. When is your birthday? It's coming up.
June 22nd.
Yes, right.
But yeah, I love hotels. Hotels are yeah.
They are nice and cozy. Fia turned me on the hotels. I do like hotels as well. I do like hotels. They're a good option. And now that we know we can get an app on a banana. No, I'm just kidding. And and look, a bread muffin. I want a
you
bread
can have them for
muffin.
that continental breakfast.
Exactly. Be like, thank
All
you.
right, what was it, number 5? I think that was number 5, maybe.
I think
Was
that
it
was number 5. Yeah.
Okay.
casinos,
Number
hotels,
6.
Walmart?
That I've had success parking at are Home Depots. Now, on Home Depots, I will typically go in and speak with someone there. And again, I've never had anyone tell me no, but I will typically do that close to closing time so that I'm not taking up a space that would be for a customer. And again, I don't park up near the front, and I park near where there is a light. And typically there are a couple of other people parking there. I don't usually park in a lot or somewhere where there's no one else parked. Now, I know people like, say, Carolyn's RV Life. She loves parking way out in the boonies where there's no one else around and she's the only one there. That's not my style, and I'm not comfortable doing that. But for those who are, that's fine. But this is how I do it.
I'm not comfortable doing that either.
What'd you say?
I'm not comfortable doing that either. Like off grid. The first time I was off grid, it was a group of us, and we were like we didn't go to, it was RTR, but wasn't up by the park with the RTR, and it was like maybe 7 of us, and so I felt completely comfortable being off grid with us. But even if it had just been 2 of us, I wouldn't have done it with 2. We had to be deep, and we was deep. Unless I wouldn't have done it. But I thought it was a very beautiful experience off grid. I thought it was going to be like this desert bowl. And it was so beautiful. I had a great. Well, anyway, but I love being there. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm not exact opposite. I love being off grid.
By yourself?
I absolutely love. Yes, I do. I do.
Is that only if you know the area or regardless of whether you know?
No, regardless.
Okay.
Do you got a hat?
I guess for me, for my travel goals, that's kind of the point for me. For my travel goals is to be off grid. You know, when I want to be around folks, I'll go into the city or whatever. But my goal is to be able to be off grid and be self-sufficient. And, you know, I'm more of a, I guess my style would be more, what do you call it?
Stone home?
Huh?
I was gonna say like the people that do the homestead, or no? Is that kind of homesteading?
No, it's off-roading and you know, the long-term travel. I can't think of the word right now. My mind has gone blank.
Okay. I can't think either. But I mean, if I'm with a group, and even with that group, because you know, if I'm with a group, but like I know people want their space and want to go off and do their own thing, long as we in that area, I don't care. Because I know, like I have camped with Thea a lot, and we do our stuff. I have to work something, you know. We just do our own thing, and then we'll be like, oh, we're going to eat here, you know. So we give each other space because remember we went and we were all together, and a couple of us was working, and a couple of us wasn't. Like I think Wanda was retired. Yeah. So you just give people if I was to do off grid, and I do love nature, I would either want to be at a paid campground or with a group, and I would give people their space. Like if you like one of those kind of people who I like my space too, but I like to come together, like maybe for a campfire or whatever. You say I'm just doing this for 2 days, leave me alone. I'm good with that too. You know, so either way, you know, but I feel like I want to be with people on off grid until I get it, till I understand the nature, what kind of people. A lot of people say they don't want to camp in the city, but I say like off grid, I got to know what kind of people hang off grid, because if I was a bad person, I would hide it off grid. That's what the first place I would go. People think, oh, I don't want to go to the city. Well, I don't want to go off grid, because if I was going to do something to somebody, or if I was wanted by the law, that's why I would hide off grid.
You know, it's funny because it's like I know we're I want to say we're sort of conditioned to think that the remote areas are dangerous, when actually I think Bob Wells made this point. He said the truth is when you're around more people, it's actually more dangerous.
Right.
Because in the woods, we're when you watch movies, right? You watch movies about being in nature or somebody camping, and there's some kind of scary movie about it. That's how we're conditioned. But I'm starting to shift, even though I'm not ready to do it by myself. I'm starting to shift my mindset, because I'm like, you know what? That's programming. That
it is.
Why do I think being off grid in the woods is more dangerous than being in the city? I love being around people because that sounds like safety to me. But actually, the truth is, people are the ones with the guns. People are the ones
with the bad motivations.
The bad motives.
I just think if I was hiding, that's where I would hide. But I do love the nature component of it. Like I wish there was just, I don't know if I could stay at LTV. What's that called? Long term living. That thing Bob
Yeah.
Wills talked about.
LTV.
But if there was like a campground and the campgrounds are really inexpensive, but if like I can get like a month at a campground just because you do have the amenities, which I don't campgrounds are usually the amenities. I don't care how nice. I don't love campground bathrooms, but I love to be able to cook, not be in my van, can get sit at a picnic table and cook, and I love a campfire. So I do love outdoors, but I feel like safety. I just got to feel comfortable, and if that's something I'm not ready this year or not, but I love outdoors. So I echo
Well
what y'all
then,
saying.
frankly, we're gonna have to take some trips together to get you a little more comfortable with being out there. So the word that I was thinking of is overlanding. I like more the overlanding style.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm game. I will do it,
There
and you're
are
22.
overlanding events too. There's a
Do
lot
they?
of
I
over.
need to start going to some, but I looked up one and I was like, the tickets alone were like $500. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm finding one more in my price range. I ain't got that kind of money yet.
We
Yeah.
looked up one that was that amount as well. I don't think it was Overlander though. It was like more of like a camp event or whatever. But
Mhm.
I agree. But I feel like that's the purpose of me being out. I do spend touristy money. I call it sometimes, but that's why we're out because we want to see the beauty of the world and not like
Right, right.
spend on $500 on an event. Which
Right.
it's both. You like you said, it's that's why I'm out to do a lot of free stuff. There are a lot of I've done a lot of free stuff traveling and even in San Diego. So that's what I agree with you. It
So,
just depends.
DG, when you did stay out in the boonies by yourself, what tips would you give to women who haven't done that yet? Like, did you take extra precaution in certain areas because you knew you were going to be out there by yourself?
Well, so I have Eddie, my machete. And that's probably about the only weapon I really do have.
I do a thumbs up on that. On machete. Well, thumbs up.
I like that.
But mostly, I mean, it's you take the same precautions as you would, any other place. You get there early enough. You make sure you scope out the place, walk around, look at nature is nature, but look and see like, what's native to that area so that you have an idea of what it is that you're looking for or what you need to be aware of. Are you in like a bear heavy place? Are you in a snake heavy place? Is your biggest concern squirrels? You know what I'm saying? You just the same as you would any other area, you make sure that you look it up and you research it, before you go out there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, okay. So my main concerns would be, can I get out of here fast enough if something happens? Do I know which direction I'm going in? Um, Obviously you know all that,
Make sure your high beams work and you go out the same way you came in.
right?
I think that's the easiest way that you can do. Know which way you came in and make sure your high beams are good.
Have an exit strategy. Y'all hear that?
Yes.
Have an
That's
exit.
another thing. I'm very bad at
Always park with
directions.
your nose out. Even when I'm in the city, I park with my nose out. I do not park in a parking spot.
Yeah.
I'm that asshole that will back up into a parking spot and you're gonna wait on me to do it.
Yeah.
Because if I need to run, I'm getting in my car and going. I'm not gonna wait on you to wait on me to back out. Just
Mm-hmm.
not gonna happen.
Right.
I'm
Right.
ready to go.
Yeah. Good point. And so if you were to scream, I guess it's one of those things where I'm like, if something happened to me and I fell, who would I? So what about Wi-Fi? Like, who would I call? What do you do if your Wi-Fi is out because you're in the boonies and you can't call anybody for an emergency? Have you?
You have to make sure that you pay attention to how far out of service. So I will typically keep an eye on my phone to see when that little E comes up and
Okay.
how much time it takes for me to be able to get back.
Okay.
How far away I'm going from when I last knew that I had service. So I
Mhm.
make sure that I pay attention to something like that too. So
Okay.
if I do end up in a situation like that, but the thing about it is with our phones now, I mean, we're mostly all on 5G at this point. Even if it goes down to a 4G, you can still make a phone call. And most places, there's not too many places
Emergency.
where you completely lose range.
Yeah.
I haven't been to any that I've completely, lost range. I can at least make a phone call,
Yeah.
and
And
I
then there
don't
are
have any. I
devices.
don't. I don't have. Yeah, there are devices you can get. I mean, Starlink is something that you can do now. T-Mobile has an option that you can take and have your own Wi-Fi. AT&T has their options as well. I don't yet have those, but
I don't have them either.
I haven't yet. And now that I'm not traveling full time, right now it's kind of campgrounds for me. But as I start trying to get geared back up towards all of that again, those are options that I'm looking further into again.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And like you said, you know where to go in at. I know where we were at. We had some internet. We didn't go, even though I was with a group of ladies, we were
Mhm.
just like we could be on the road, like right there where we were at. We didn't go way off grid. We just stayed like
Mhm.
where the road is. There was a road right out of there. So
It's kind of far enough where you're away from everything else going on, and you can still hear the crickets and every
yeah.
the animals at night, and you can actually see the stars at night. Like that's the stuff that I
Yes.
enjoy and love about being a little further out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be able to see when the sun goes down. I want to be able to see the things that you should be able to see that you cannot see in the city. And that's what
Sunrise,
I'm looking
sunset.
for.
I love sunrises and sunsets to hear birds
Mm-hmm.
chirping. I know, right? Oh,
Up with
that
the
making me want
sun.
to get up and go.
All
Girl,
right.
I still want to get up and go. I'm learning how to sit down.
Oh, I want to go. I want to get up and go. I'm
Well, you
ready to
might
get,
eat all day bartending, so yeah, I can see you wanting to.
yeah, to just chill out or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah. All
You
right. Let me.
probably getting an overflow of people who are traveling.
Yeah, so they're starting to come in. Like schools are starting to let out. I know they're doing graduations and stuff here, so schools are starting to let out. So it's starting to be a little bit busy. So we're coming into our busy season, which is nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I can definitely say when it cools off again, I'm gonna be ready to go.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've already got a cruise that I'm taking in November. If y'all want to
Oh,
go on the cruise, you're more than welcome.
where are you
Which
going? I think you said Mexico.
Yeah, we're going to Mexico, Belize, Cozumel, and Roatan, I think.
who's we?
So right now it's me and my guy, my best friend and her guy, and her son and his girl.
Oh, okay.
There's a few more people that are in the group, but they haven't made their deposits yet, so
Okay.
I don't know if they're going or not.
Be nice for you and your guy.
Yeah,
That's
this might be his last cruise because he's gone on cruises before we met, and he says he gets so sick. And
Oh,
last year when I went on one, I was like, "Well, why you don't try and go with me?" And so now he's gonna try and go with me. He said, "But this will probably be my last one." I said, "That's all right.
oh.
At least I get one."
just make
Where
sure
did you
you
say you
load
were
up some of
going?
that seasick medicine.
The
Yeah, I
Dramamine. What's
told
it
him, I
called?
said, we can
Dramamine.
have every ammo on here. I said, there's the little patches you put behind your ear. We're going to give you some Benadryl. We're going to get you, I heard that there's a shot that you can take. I said,
Yeah.
we're going to put you all the ammo we can get to make sure you have a good time. I said, I
Yeah.
got a team on this.
Yeah. She got you, boo. She got you.
That's right. I got a
Yes,
team on it.
that's the
Because if
fun
I
thing
can get him
about
out for
travel.
more than one, listen, my goal, he loves to be in the house. Like he loves to be at the house. Like right now, he's not at the house. He's out working, and that's what he like. He's either out working or he's in the house and he watches his BET shows. And I'm
Okay.
like, I understand that, you and your family, y'all built this. I was like, but there's other things outside of that. And
Right.
I said, your problem that you have is you found you a lady who likes the things outside of that. Like this don't really interest
I
this
know
don't
being
interest me.
indoors. I
Me
know. I
being
like
out
the
there,
outdoors.
that's what interests me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I like being out too. I mean, it is nice to come home. Like I've been in my winter room is what I call it, and it is nice to chill. But I didn't want to chill in the winter. Like I don't want to be chilled in the winter in no state
Oh,
that's
and-
cold. And but
Mm.
I do. I mean, it is good to kind of settle down because when you are just nonstop, then the way you're doing it is the right, not the right way, but it's a good way, Danette, because you've been out, but now you're like, you got a home base, and then you're like doing trips. You'll do a camping trip or
Right.
off grid. You do a get on a cruise and all that. And I think that's what people think too about. people who are maybe have vans or vehicles, live in vehicles, that they don't do other types of travel. Like it's just, oh, you just
No, there's
it's not the
absolutely
case.
more than one
Mhm.
type of travel. And I mean, in order to experience, I mean, how do you
Everything,
experience the things on the water if you don't get on a boat of some sort?
absolutely.
You
Experience
know?
everything you want to experience. And so I agree. I've been thinking about Mexico real hard. Getting on a
Maybe
plane.
Girl, let's
Mhm.
go.
But you know what? I looked up the flights. I guess it was a couple, maybe last week, and I saw $1,000. I looked up this site called Mambo, and I looked. I was like, "Am I seeing $1,000?" Because I thought it would be it's so cheap. Everybody said you can get a flight cheap, cheap, cheap. Well, how much you think the flight? Because that's what it's called Mambo or Mambo or something.
oh,
MOM.
but you
I
don't
don't know.
need a flight for the cruise, do you?
But is it Cruise
No.
Mexico? Is it Cruise
No,
Mexico?
you just go to. Are you coming to Florida?
No, I'm actually going to Texas and I might drive.
Wait, you're gonna leave?
Um,
Take
because
oh
it leaves the day after Thanksgiving, so I might drive down there like the week before. I'll probably end up taking like 2.5 weeks off.
Is
Drive
oh.
that a
down there the week
Mexican
before
cruise,
and spend
though?
some time with my mom or something, and my mom and my son, and then go on the cruise and then come back.
Wait, I'm confused. Why you go all the way to Texas when you can go to Mexico from Florida?
Listen, because everybody else lives in Texas, so
Oh,
we're
That's like
going out
your
of
people,
Galveston.
oh, I see the
our
other.
family.
I got you.
Are you going to
Right.
Mexico on a cruise? A Mexican cruise? Is that what it is?
No, it's like a Royal Caribbean or a
Yeah, that's
Carnival
exactly Royal Caribbean is what we're
But where
doing.
does it go, though? Where are you going?
to
We're
Mexico.
going, yeah,
Oh,
we're going to
okay. Yeah,
Mexico. We're going to Cozumel,
yeah. I think you told me that. Okay,
Yucatan, and Roatan.
that sounds lovely too. That sounds lovely. That
Does. I
sounds
love Royal
lovely.
Caribbean. I don't so much like Carnival, but
This will be my
I did
first Royal
Carnival.
Caribbean.
oh, yeah, it's an older group. It's an older crowd. It's not as party, but I think for a couple, it's fun, but it's like
Hmm.
it's not as many kids and it's not as many. I don't know, just
Yeah,
hardcore.
I haven't done it.
Now
I
that
went to the
sounds like it'll
Bahamas.
be up my alley then.
Yeah,
It was
But
a long time
now,
ago.
has everybody here been on a cruise?
I have
Yes,
3 times.
How do you like sleeping on
one
a cruise
time.
ship?
Girl, I love. We always, me and my husband, if we
I've
come,
never been to Mexico.
if we come to that, I've been to the Mexico one from Florida.
Is that
Um,
what you have on screen here, Fia?
yeah,
Who
Royal
screen is
Caribbean.
this?
This is mine.
Oh,
But me and my
okay.
husband, we always get a suite, no matter
Hmm.
because
Those rooms are small. They used to
we
be.
like to
I went to
sleep
the
out.
Bahamas.
We like to sleep out on the patio.
Oh,
Okay.
There is
oh,
nothing like looking out at the moon and the stars and the water at
oh.
night.
Over the water, yes.
It
Ooh
is
la la.
Yeah, so we got a balcony for this one. This will be my first balcony.
good.
So it there is a chance I'll probably prop up a pillow and a blanket and sleep on a little lounge chair.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You fall asleep.
It's something about being a nomad that makes me want to sleep outside of the
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
is that not weird? Is that like
It
that
ain't
is
weird at
that
all. It ain't weird at all
like
because when you got to
this the
travel,
crazy thing. I remember when I went to Mexico with Tina and a friend of mine, and we had the nicest Airbnbs. We had the nicest Airbnbs, and all I wanted to do was sleep outside.
I
yeah.
know, and
I got
having
my pillow and my blanket, and I would go and find a lounge chair, or we had a couch in one of them because we had a patio, and I
Yeah,
slept on the couch outside. And I
yeah.
was
that's
just so much more comfortable than sleeping inside.
that's the free spirit. That's us. That's the
My
nomadic
my disclaimer
travel.
is as long as there are no bugs. So on a cruise ship,
Yes.
I never had to worry about any bugs.
No.
Mine was so long. I went to the Bahamas and I think pregnant with my first child. So this had to be they 30. So this had to be 20 years ago. It was so long ago. I haven't been back on a cruise since. But it was a wonderful experience. I actually won that cruise too, so that was even more.
Yes, that's even
Yeah.
better.
So that was it was really really nice. I know y'all making me just want to drive off and just go. I swear I can't talk to y'all about travel because I'm about to just. I'm already in the van right now. I'm getting ready. I gotta go because I gotta. Um, the kids that I tutor, they're in a recital, a dance recital tomorrow. So I gotta go pick up my tickets so I don't wait. And I don't have to meet people at the place and get my tickets. So that's what I have to do. And I will show y'all, but they're back there bunched up. Me and my other cousin, we made them money bouquets. Cause you know how like after the dance recital you do the bouquet. You ever seen those bouquets? I know it's
Uh,
kind of off topic.
dance recital. Dance recital.
Hmm. The
No.
money bouquets aren't for like you just make them. You can make them for somebody's graduation. I don't know how it came on my feed and YouTube, but you know how stuff. It was. I guess it started on TikTok. I don't know, but anyway. So
Um,
that's off subject, but that's where I gotta go.
one quick second. DG, what are the dates for November?
November 29th to December 7th.
Ooh, girl, me
I
and my husband
know that's
out
8 days or something.
out the whole month of December. So we're doing Thanksgiving to January 1st.
Mm-hmm.
What?
We're taking off the whole month.
You
So
ain't playing.
the dates, and I haven't committed because I have to talk to him.
Okay.
But what you said the dates were
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
November 20.
November
29th.
29th to December 7th.
Okay, I need to go back and pick Texas. Ooh, that's extra. The only thing is, it's extra money for us when we could just leave from Florida.
From
I
Well,
wonder.
Florida.
maybe is your
I-
cruise gonna be in the Florida waters? I mean, how does that work? Where you
When you
going
go
to?
from Florida, you can get to Mexico from Florida.
I know, but I was saying, is Danette is DG's cruise is a way you can get on, you can dock it or get on at a point that's not where her point is. Just because she's getting on at that point, don't they have different points where you can get on at? Maybe that one
No,
does.
so it'll go straight out of Galveston and it's going straight to Mexico.
Okay, okay, I got it, I got it, I got it.
Yeah, that's the
I
only
got.
part is paying the extra money just to go from Texas.
Down to Houston. Yeah.
That sounds so wonderful. You making me. I don't know what
And it lines up with my timing too. It's just the
you might do it. I know. Keep it open. Keep the options open.
yeah.
I gotta run, but what I was gonna say is, I have a tiny. I guess people they should give y'all. We should give our email addresses because I do have a tiny. Maybe it's a couple of hundred people, and I never do anything with my email list. But I can send out this video. That's something I haven't done with my videos. You know how like I haven't even been on. I call it this side of YouTube because I'm doing some true crime stuff. But I guess you should because we should send out. We should send notifications when we come on next week, like for Danette's, and then I'll send a notification. It'll probably be Sunday though, or if I have some time later, I might do it later. We should send out notifications to people who, because I don't know, people email you. So if y'all, that's one of the ways we can share out this video. I'm just saying. I have a
Okay.
Yeah.
So
little email list.
you saying share our email?
Yeah, I would share our emails. Let's put it. Can we put it in the Because
I'll just
people
put
email you. If y'all have any additional, I don't mind sharing mine. I like hearing from
yeah,
people.
me either. I
So,
reach out via email.
will they be able to see it in the chat if I put it in the chat?
Put it in the don't put it in the private chat. Put it in the comments.
I don't know. I'm on my phone, so I don't know where. All right,
All right.
can you pin it in the description later?
Yeah, what's your email? I'll put it in there.
It's joyroute50 at gmail.com.
Joy.
Route50 at gmail.com. And the reason why I was saying that because like I want to do a BLM land with a bunch of people because to get comfortable. And then DG was talking about we need to go somewhere or something. So I always like to hear from people. And I know I got a friend actually that a virtual friend, but they're my friends. She's in Texas, so I never know what, but I love to hear from people, know what they're doing, tell us about interesting places, ask us additional questions, and we can email y'all too before we go on next. Because
Yeah.
YouTube likes when you do that too.
So
When you
DG, the reason why you wanted us to share the email was what? I'm sorry, I
So
missed it.
for me, I love hearing from people. I love hearing. I get so many good ideas. I've heard from people over the years, and I get really good ideas about where they go to different locations. Just like DG told us last week about that I wrote it down, but I can't remember that space, a place to go. So I just like if they have any questions, contact us. I want to send out when we do our next live, give them a heads up, to let people know. Because sometimes if you don't announce your stream or just whatever, and then keep in contact, it's just good. And I have an email list. I don't use it. So, but so that's why they got to ask us questions if they want to, if they're doing anything interesting. I'm always looking for mine is a JoyRoute. I'll turn in a minute. I'm in this car now. I will jump and go. So just
Yeah,
looking
just,
for yeah.
Frankie, I emailed both you and DG today.
Okay.
So I emailed you the StreamYard link,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you have her email, but she's gonna put it in the chat too, I think.
Yeah, I have DJs. I mean, we talked to DJ. I got DJ's stuff. We got her stuff, but I was just saying, just in case people, if y'all okay with that, I am.
Right. Okay.
I love the collection of travelers to know where because people tell me about good stuff, and I share like good locations. If I hear of anything, or like, for instance, San Diego, I got a lot of good stuff to share about. Anybody got questions or anything? I just like to stay in touch with
Yeah,
travelers because like-minded nomads, I just do. So that's why.
I met up with a wonderful lady from Tampa who
Oh,
loves going to bike ride,
oh.
electric bikes, and that's how I got it. She reached out to me on that Boondocking Diva at Gmail.
That's what I'm saying. And people
Yeah.
do. And sometimes people be sitting there waiting to do something. And they're
Right.
like, but I ain't going to do it by myself, or because they might not be partner. Y'all booed up, but they might not have a partner. And they might just be like, I want to do it, but I ain't never done that. Or
No, I would take off and do it by myself. I
I do
do not
too. I do
care.
too. But I think that's that's kind of like the free spirit. But I know so many people who they just, if you've never done it before, it's different. Like this is
Yeah, it is.
living on wheels, and even if it's just for a weekend, or for in
Yeah.
my case just came back from 10 months, that's living on wheels. You really, it's a whole different world. Like that
Yeah.
show,
Mhm.
it's another world, it's a different world, it's a different world. And
Yeah.
so if they got questions, we got that I say, but everybody doesn't have that just push the button, let's
Mm.
go. I'm like, let's go. But there have been times when I've been nervous and things like that, and
Me.
I've traveled a lot with people, but when I went down this time with a friend, and then we broke off in Arizona, and I'm like, I don't gotta go back. It was like
Mhm.
all
Me-
places like, where the hell am I at?
You want to add your email, DG?
Yeah, I put it up there. Let's chat at
Oh,
whatitdoDG.com.
Uh,
where you
I
see it at?
didn't see it come through.
It didn't come through. I'll put it up there again.
I'm so high now.
So DG's gonna do the live next. I will say
Okay.
next weekend I have a motor. Let's go ahead and end the live.
Yeah,
I
but
think
stay on for a second because I got my
Okay.
car.
we're gonna stay on
Yeah,
and try to have
okay.
logistic
Can
talk.
I hear me through the speaker on my car?
All right, y'all. Thanks for joining us for this live. Feel free to comment.
Don't forget to like. Yeah.
Subscribe. Thank you, JoyRoute. Thank you, DG. I appreciate it. What it do, DG? Check out
What it
JoyRoute's
do?
channel and What It Do, DG. Bye, y'all. Happy Friday.
Bye. Have a good Friday.
And follow your bliss.
Yes, take the joy out.
Not somebody else's bliss. Follow your bliss.
Exactly.
Amen.
I love that.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Stay on, DG.